confidence is the unshakable belief in yourself that's so bold and so daring that you live your life without limits or restrictions. So join me on my show, Unleash Your Audacious Confidence, so we can discover the unknown you. Call in to join the conversation at 888-565-1470. Let's get started. Hey, everybody. You know, it's Monday. I'm here. Alicia is here with you. And, of course, I'm here on Facebook trying to invite everybody is what I do. So if you are watching live, hi. Thank you for joining me. I have an amazing guest today. I wanted to say really quickly, you know, driving over here, I've been noticing more and more that people are on their phones, just looking at their phones driving. And they're driving so slowly because they're not, you know, really paying attention to the road. And it backs up traffic all the way behind them because they're busy looking at their phones instead of looking at the road driving. And that's kind of become one of my little pet peeves as I am here talking to you, looking at my phone. So, but not while I'm driving. I'm kind of driving this show right now. So I'm just inviting you. So if you get an invite from me, just join the show, everybody. I'm going to tell you about my guest that I have coming up. Her name is Rosalyn Kahn. And, you know, social media is so phenomenal, especially when you start building your brand on social media and you start really reaching out and connecting with people. So I met Rosalyn on LinkedIn, and we connected on LinkedIn. We started a conversation. We got offline a little bit, and we got online together via phone. And we got on the phone together, and we had a great conversation. I can see you, Rosalyn. And so I invited her to be part of the show because she has some amazing things going on. And I want to just tell you a couple things about Rosalyn. She is a professor. She's over in California, so it's still, you know, it's 6:30 here, and she's 3 hours behind us. And she is a TEDx. She's a TEDx speaker, as well as she trains people. She coaches people to be on TEDx stages. She also has written a couple books. She's an author, and the book that we're going to talk about mostly today is her book called Dogs and Roses. And there's not just a great message behind the book, but also there's a great movement behind the book and some of the things that she's doing with the book. She's also, I'll let her talk a little bit more about it, but she's had some amazing opportunities to MC events and be on the red carpet for events and host some events and even modeling. And so, you know, again, building your brand, being on social media, connecting with people, connecting with influential people can really help you grow your business, grow your platform, and increase your visibility. So I'd like to invite Rosalyn Kahn. Rosalyn, can you hear me?
Hi, how you doing?
I can hear you now. A little technical difficulty. So even though we love technology, sometimes we have to maneuver and work around it. So Rosalyn, I guess you didn't hear my intro for you, but I wanted to ask you. I talked about you being a speaker on TEDx stages, as well as training people, being a coach for people on TEDx. And you also, you're a professor, and you've written a couple books. And the one we're going to talk about specifically today is your new book, Dogs and Roses. And there's a very special message and movement behind that. So I want you to, first of all, say hi to everybody out there that we've shared it on Facebook.
It's great to see you. I'm so happy and excited to be on your show. This is really thrilling.
Yes, and I told them how we met, that we met through LinkedIn, that we had a conversation on LinkedIn, and then we had a phone conversation, and that's kind of how we met, through social media and through business. So let's jump into what inspired you really to write the book, Dogs and Roses.
Sure, that's really a great question that you went ahead and asked. You know, I seem pretty happy right now as I am to be talking to you, but when I started the book, I was depressed.
Uh-huh.
I was really sad. And my life coach said to me, what makes you happy, Rosalyn? And I said, I love dogs and I love roses. And I just want to show you a quick picture. This is the dog that I grew up with, and Holly. And she was such a precious dog to me. Just as you hear me say the word, she was just so beautiful. She's just absolutely beyond words. And whenever I spent time with dogs, they put a smile on my face.
Made you happy.
Yeah, there's research that says if you stroke a dog for 20 minutes, it's actually better than a human conversation.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because it's unconditional love, right? Because they give you unconditional love and acceptance.
You got it exactly. You got it exactly. I once read a piece in a book. I think it was Eckhart Tolle or something like that. It said that dogs are amazing things. They give you that unconditional love. They don't hold any grudges. They don't hold anything. And yet the humans that they accompany do all the above. They're often moody. They're often doing 10 million things a day. And yet the dog just accepts the human for what they are.
Yeah. That's amazing. And so how did that journey into actually creating this book?
Well, let me tell you about the connection of the roses, because the two of them are intricately related. You see, the roses have these thorns, and the thorns to me represent the difficulties and the challenges we have in life. And they're these most beautiful creations, and the beauty is golden to each one, but it doesn't last forever, and we need the thorns and the difficulties to go to the top. And I found with these, they brought me calm and cool, and I wanted to help other people de-stress in life, to connect with yourself, and that's how the whole book came to be.
Oh, wow. So, so it's the balance between the stress, the thorns, and the calm that the friendship and the love that the dogs bring, that led you to creating a book about dogs and roses. Did I get that right?
You got it, exactly.
All right. Yay. Yes. So, now that we kind of had a vision for, we met your beautiful dog, and we had a vision for writing the book. How did you go through that creative process? Because you said you were depressed. Now, how did you get yourself out of that depression and start actually being proactive to write the book?
Okay, so one of the things he said was find a way to find more dogs and more roses. And so I went out and I became like a dog magnet. Whenever I go, I see a dog out of the corner of my eye. There's this one night I was at a restaurant, and I found this other table. There was something there, and I said, is that a cup with a dog on it? You've got to bring it over here. Lo and behold, it was a cup with a dog on it. Another day I was in a store, Nordstrom's Rack or something like that, and I was looking at all these cute colored clothes that had dogs in them. And line, there appeared these people with these dogs.
Well, you know what happened there is your reticulating activating system in your brain started recognizing everything to do with dogs once you put your focus on that. So now everything you saw dogs. It just drew you to it.
It's like amazing. I mean, even, I hate to say, when my dog passed, there was a neighbor walking down, and I created these pictures in memory of my recent dog. The first dog's name was Heidi, and the current dog's name was Holly. And I said, can I please hold and pet your dog? My dog has just recently passed.
Aww.
And that dog just, it just really sensed it. It just, dogs know. I mean, all the way.
They're emotionally sensitive.
They truly, truly are. I mean, you know the research, they say that dogs can go ahead and detect cancer and other deep problems.
Wow. Yeah. I've heard of that. They can detect illness and tumors and that kind of stuff. So, yeah, very interesting. And so losing your dog, because then, that also had a big impact on you and helped you write the book?
Well, okay, so the book came about as I started going out and taking pictures of all sorts of dogs, and it's really a photographic, inspirational book that has dogs and it has roses, and the two of them bring me calm. And so I started taking pictures, and as I took the pictures, I'm words came to me. You know, this is like a ballerina. This is like a fair, and had sayings and expressions. You know, ready or not, here we are. Come and get me. You're just what I need now. Cute little sayings. And so, as I was writing the book, my dog was near her very end, and I kept saying to my dog, "You got to stay till the book comes out. You got to stay till the book comes out. You got to stay till the book comes out." And she had, you know, the old age dog where the head would turn to one side and she couldn't quite get up. And we do meditations together. And on the very last days, well, she'd get trapped in all sorts of different places, and she'd whine. Well, this day, the day before, she was whining in my arms as we were doing meditation. And the next day, she had 3 strokes. I said, this, you know, we're going away on vacation, and I don't want to come back to not to be able to say goodbye.
Right.
And as we took her to the place, my husband and I went, and we're sitting there crying because she was with us almost 14 years, and everybody at that place loved her as well. And you could see as you were crying, she knew what was going on. And when she passed, my husband was petting her, and he said, "She's still there, she's still there." And they said, "No, she's gone." And the beauty is that my dog still lives on because she's in that book, and when everybody sees that picture,
she's been immortalized.
She has.
Yeah. Oh, how wonderful. That's so sweet. Rosalyn, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about veteran services, because your book has a mission and a purpose, and we're going to talk about that when we come back.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Afraid of needles? Anxious about going under the knife? Do the words invasive surgery make you queasy to think about? After years of being mistaken for someone in her 20s, Alicia Couri, a mom of 3 in her late 40s, finally got tired of hearing, "You should write a book about why you look so young." So that's exactly what she did. In her book, Age Younger, 21 Tips to Make Your 40s Look Like Your 20s, she outlines 21 of her top tips for looking and feeling decades younger. These tips can easily be implemented into your own lifestyle so you too can make your 40s look like your 20s. Go to acradio.live to order your copy today. Hi, I'm Alicia Couri, and you know me from my radio show, Unleash Your Audacious Confidence with Alicia Couri. If you lack confidence and boldness to really go out there and conquer the world, I'm here to share this valuable resource. In my book, Your Signature Style, Unlocking the Confidence, Style, and Influence of the Savvy CEO, I'll take you through a process where you can release your fears and embrace your femininity as a powerful tool to unleash your audacious confidence and win. This is where it all began for me, and I want to share it with you. Get your copy today at acradio.live. Bring out your beauty and confidence from the inside out. Buy this book today at www.acradio.live. You're listening to Unleash Your Audacious Confidence with Alicia Couri. Now, let's get back to the show. Hey, I'm still inviting people to watch the show because that's what I do. So I'm back. Yes, these are books. Age Younger, and Your Signature Style. And if you go to my website, acradio.live, you can get your copy from Amazon through the link on that website. So Rosalyn Kahn is our guest today, and Rosalyn also is an author. And the book, we've been talking about her book, Dogs and Roses, and how she was in a depression before she started writing the book, and that is sort of the inception or the genesis of why she created this book. And the book is very inspirational. And so we left off, we were going to talk about veterans services because this book has a mission and a purpose. And it's really why I wanted Rosalyn to come on the show to talk about what connected her to the veterans and why is she using this book now to help veteran services.
Okay, well, I want to give a shout-out to a good friend of mine. Her name is Michelle Brubaker.
Hi, Michelle.
And she and I had met through the Thrive Academy through Raven, the talk show Maven. And she and I had talked about a book, and she says, you've got to have an organization that you align it with. And when you go to the book, you'll see Bruno, her dog, in the back with roses. And I came upon vets for this reason. My father was a merchant marine, and one of my other hats I wear is I'm a teacher in the classroom. And my best students are the Marines that I have in my class. And they've shared with me their experiences. There was one at Antelope Valley College, and we gave a speech where you talked about treasure chests and what you admired. And he brought these helmets of what his grandfather had worn. And then he told me about Agent Orange and how every one of the people in his
unit
group was coming down with this, and the VAs did nothing at all. Nothing. And I'm like, the people right here in the valley, and you can go see them. And he said, they don't really care. And then there was some challenges I was involved in one of my classes in an unnamed school.
What subject do you teach?
I teach public speaking.
Public speaking. There you go.
There you go. That's where the finesse with the words comes in. And at the time, I said, I don't do that. I mean, at my school here, I have a guy who is the person at Camp Pendleton who releases the people when they go off to fight wars. And I'm really proud that guy's in my class. And then another student at Santa Monica College sent an email to me after the class was over. And he said, thank you for the skills that you've taught me. My job is being the one who knocks on the door and tells the family their sad news.
Oh, no.
But when I was on this cruise, I met this guy, and he is in the book. His name is Lewis. And Lewis and I just started talking about dogs, and he loved it so much, and there was so much noise. We said, we're going to talk about this when you get back home to North Carolina. So he calls me on the phone, and he says this story. I served in several missions, and when I came back, my wife worked really long hours. And I suffered PTSD, and I didn't want to get my house messed up, but I couldn't take it not talking to my wife. So I brought the dog into the scene. And when I'd cry, the dog would wrap itself around its arms. It would lick my face. It would just make me feel so comfortable. And he said this line, we care about our dogs, but when others go back to war, they send the dogs to the kill shelters. And I said, no. And I said, how could they send the dogs to the kill shelters? There's somebody who needs dogs.
Right.
And that idea was born to create this foundation for dogs to have a place where people could, like, help them out.
Right.
You know, it's interesting when you want a path, it's not always a straight line to the top. So I must have gone through 1, 2, 3 different locations until I hit upon the one I'm working with right now. And I got the green light the other day. I'm working with El Camino College, and I'm working with their foundation. And I met with the vets over there about a week ago, and they just had a meeting, and they're going to invite me out to talk to the vets, and we're going to do that next Thursday.
Nice. So I want to ask you before our time expires, because we have just a short time left together, 2 really quick things. The first one is, how can people get the book? I want to make sure that, you know, if you have a copy of the book to hold up a copy of the book, and let people know how, put it more to, I don't know what direction that is, to your right. There we go. There we go. So that's the book, Dogs and Roses, Reducing Stress and Anxiety in Today's Troubled Times. And, you know, we have a lot of troubled times that we've seen these days on the news. And so tell us how we can get a copy of your book, Rosalyn.
So to get a copy of my book, you simply go to Amazon. You can go to Amazon and you put in Dogs and Roses book, and you'll see it.
And it'll pop up.
And it'll go ahead and pop up. There's also a link on my webpage, which is RosalynKahn.com. And I want to show you one picture. This is the picture of my dog. This is Holly.
Oh, to the right. A little more to the right. There we go.
Aww. When anybody sees this picture, they're in awe.
She's so cute.
It's in the very back of the book. It's in memory of this dog that the book was written. So if you go to RosalynKahn.com, ROSALYN, last name is KAHN.com, or you go to Amazon, you'll find that book.
Dogs and Roses, Reducing Stress in These Troubled Times. So beautiful. So the next question, because you have a lot going on, girl. You have a lot going on. Every time I try to connect with you, you're busy. out doing stuff from teaching to coaching people for TEDx talks to writing your books and modeling and hosting red carpet events. So how did all of that come about for you as a professor?
Well, it's amazing. There was a few years ago that a friend of mine reached out to me. His name is Tom Lenzo, and he was with ASTD, American Society of Training and Development. He invited me to the first TED Talk. Mm-hmm. And when I sat in that stage, being a former Toastmaster, I said, I want to be on that stage. Yeah. And he said, you got to get into volunteering. So I volunteered, and there's a dog story. There's a lady who had a dog, and it was a dog that helped her find her problem. And I made her confront the dog to tell the story, and it was a beautiful, beautiful story. And then there was an opportunity to meet other TED organizers, and so I jumped at the opportunity, and I went with the mission. I'm going to be on that stage. The first time I went out there, I met a lady named Kat Haber out of Alaska. She liked me by the restroom and said, I got work for you. And the lady that I coached was my very first speaker was Ileana Gilad about 4 years ago. Mm-hmm. And just 3 weeks ago, she called me on the phone, and she needed someone to coach her again, and that's how I got to Friday Harbor in Seattle to do it again.
Nice. That's awesome.
So I've done a bunch of those. And then this last June, it was like Father's Day, this woman called me in the Hollywood scene and said, Rosalyn, we need someone to host the red carpet. And I wore a beautiful red dress that was made for me, custom made to my body. You go to my page and you can see it.
I've seen it.
Everyone loves it. And they said, oh, my God. So I was in a store that one of my previous students, Nicole Ionesi, and there's a video of her on my page as well, they needed someone to host their red carpet, and I was just supposed to be a host. But when I put on this dress filled with roses, that dress looks absolutely beautiful on you.
It was meant to be.
I'd never been a model before, and they had me walking out the mile, and I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? And they found me behind the mic, and all those years of public speaking and the personal development I had done just absolutely came to life, and the rest is just history.
Nice.
The rest is history.
So you're out there, you're teaching every day, but then you have your coaching clients that you coach them. Do you also help them get TEDx talks, or just if they have a TEDx coming up that you coach them through the process? How do you get that?
It's all of the above. I mean, the TED has sent me out different speakers that are looking to go on the TED stage. And I want to say I'm a unofficial person who looks for TED Talks. So one of the most recent persons that got on the TED stage was a person by the name of, his name is Doron Gazit. He was an artist, and he did this program called The Red Line. If you go to TEDx Vail 2017 in January, you'll see his talk. He's got these beautiful things that go into the environment on the hidden the disasters we have, from the fires of Tomar to Homer, Alaska, with the fjords and all around the world. And he was an artist, and he also was an Israeli, and those accents are really hard to break.
Very thick accent.
But he had 18 years, and the whole idea was, how do we put this into a small, minute picture? And the time we finished, he got up on that stage, and he was laughing.
Nice.
And I knew with the reaction in the audience, we had met our piece. Everybody wants to get on the TED stage. I was recently at Manny Lopez's event, and everybody heard that I was a TED speaker, and they said, I, too, want to be on that TED stage. Can you get me on? And so sometimes it just takes a matter of a conversation of finding out that story that rests in your heart of how we can bring it out.
And how you can bring it out. Well, that is awesome. And I love your story. You are inspirational. And, you know, this show is all about your audacious confidence. And you are showing it, girl. You are out there. You're doing it. And you are going after what it is you want. So you guys go to her website, RosalynKahn.com, RosalynKahn.com, and order your copy of her book, her wonderful book that's also helping veteran services, called Dogs and Roses. Thank you so much, Rosalyn, and I will see you guys next week with another amazing guest I have lined up for you. You don't want to miss it. See you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. A wise friend always says to me, we have a finite number of minutes to spend. And just like you can only spend $1 once, you can only spend 1 minute once. It's your choice. So I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for choosing to spend some of your minutes with me on my show. I wish you love, health, and happiness to live your life with audacious confidence. I love you, and we'll see you next time.
The opinions expressed on the